Can you start recording?
Yep, we're live, sort of.
Okay, we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our first podcast. This is Anochecer, and we have two guests here. We'll start with a quick introduction. Basically, my name is Talal Lemki. I'm from Oman. I'm talking to you from Istanbul. Why from Istanbul? Long story, but today we are going to discuss a topic called Karachism. But before we get into that, Asrar, can you introduce yourself, please?
Oh yeah, my name's Asrar, and I was born and raised in Saudi Arabia, but I've been country hopping for a while. I've lived more outside of Saudi Arabia than inside. So I don't know, I feel like a nomad, and that's that.
Okay. Good. Hisham.
My name is Hisham. Excited to be here in the podcast number 1. Maybe we'll be making history here. Who the fuck knows? We'll see what happens. Joe Rogan, fucking watch out. About me, I'm in Oman right now. Born and raised here, but for the past couple of years, I was traveling, just digital nomading until Corona hit. Waiting for Corona to subside so that I can continue the adventures, just keep on the debauchery, and we'll see what happens from there. But right now we're just chilling here and just quarantining like the rest of the world.
Alrighty, awesome. So basically we I think one of the motivations of starting this podcast, I think I have very deep conversations with Asrar and Hisham, and I think we talk about similar but very different topics. I think that topics that you wouldn't discuss in school, topics you wouldn't discuss with your family, topics you wouldn't discuss in university. Although I think they're very educational. Now, basically, today's topic is called Karachism. Now, Asrar, can you give us like a brief introduction on what you consider Karachism to be?
Hey, first off, I don't call it anything just yet. I don't really think that's the name of it. It's just for the lack of a better term, that's what we're using, because this is what's happened to me over time. In terms of, I've met people who say you think like a person who's from Karachi. Not myself, but you hear people say about other people and so forth. But if you listen to Joey Diaz, he would talk about New York mentality. So point being, I think it's everywhere, but in different guises or different mentalities, whatever you want to call it. So the idea is a person who's shrewd, who's street smart. So they quickly enter a room, they gauge everybody real quick. They know who to mess with, who not to mess with, and how to just keep clear. Main goal being, don't mess around with anyone in a foul way, like don't step on anybody's toes, enjoy life and just move on. But here's the thing, and here's the good thing. You cannot bully such a person. They're not innocuous, and that's the main point. And that's why it's important. Because that thing is, a person like this, when they're your friend, it's not like they'll do something extraordinary, but they'll be true to you, they'll be loyal to you in a realistic way. So yeah, it's I don't know, I just had this epiphany almost, because I was raised in Saudi Arabia and I'm Pakistani, so that in itself has a feeling towards it. And then I moved to England in 2005, and that's when the bombings happened. So the attitude that changed over there and whatnot. But anyways, so these people, you'll find them, they don't get into politics in any way. They don't get into anything that's a little too personal, but all the time maintaining a personality. So these people are just always under the radar. And these people get things done. And if you know what I'm talking about, I'll give you an example. Like, I've heard of somebody who's Pakistani who went and settled down in Toronto. I lived in Toronto for 8 years. Well, not Toronto itself, but GTA. So this bloke, from what I've heard, he doesn't really speak English very well. But he had a network, one of the best networks when it comes to moving drugs. So Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say. Like, people like this, they know how to gauge other people. They know what they want and how to get it. And I think it's very important. Maybe not for negative endeavors, but at least so that one does not get used by others. Because that's one of the biggest things that happens, right? For people who don't want to be Machiavellis or whatever. So this trait isn't exactly negative, but it is a trait.
Right.
And it's more about gauging other people.
Right. Right.
So,
Okay, yeah, I get what you mean. I mean, this is well, I mean, I totally agree with Asrar on this topic, and we both I mean, all three of us, I think we discuss, we experience these things in different ways, in different contexts. But the way that I look at is that this is a kind of ability, like street smart. I mean, if I really want to put it in its rawest form, I know it gets a little bit more advanced than that, but street smart is kind of what I would call in its most deconstructed form. But I mean, now Hisham, that you've heard Esrar's kind of raw definition of what I've termed Karachiism, and that's not to not to kind of insinuate any stereotypes or anything like that, but it's just kind of like a bro dude thing that we just kind of decided to call. But Hisham, I mean, what are your thoughts on what Asrar said?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because when we talked about this before the podcast, the definition in my head was more Machiavellian, right? So I understand the sort of person that Israr is talking about. And, like you said, it's the street smarts. He knows what's up. He knows who to fuck with and who not to fuck with. And just by that, not to fuck with him. But for whatever reason in my head, I was like I had a more Machiavellian definition. So I guess we need to delineate between what we're talking about here, right? Because the person that we're talking about here just sounds to me like a good person, someone who everyone should know who to fuck with and who not to fuck with. Everyone should have boundaries.
So Hisham, let's do it this way. Tell us where are the crossovers in terms of what you mean by Machiavellian, and how is it different from Asrar?
Beautiful. So the one difference, if you want to consider someone a true Machiavellian, is the ends justify the means, right? So, one of the things that Israr talked about was this guy has your back. This guy, you can depend on him. Someone who's truly a Machiavellian, if the means to get to his end would be to fuck you over,
right?
Well, then we're talking about a different person here.
Yeah.
Right?
But okay, so let me ask Asra, are you talking about a specific kind of person, or are you talking about specific kind of group or society?
So let me give you a little flip of it. It's not exactly a person; it's a trait. Okay, like let me turn this around or talk about it in a different way. So people think Machiavellian is bad, but Machiavellian is only bad because we have a set of rules or principles we follow, or values, or whatever you want to call it. Do you know what I mean? Now, if you talk about Sun Tzu, the art of war, this guy talks about how to defeat your enemy, right? How can nobody says that's bad? He's doing whatever he needs to get rid of his enemy, isn't he?
Okay, this is a very interesting point. So you talked about Sun Tzu.
Correct.
Now, and the art of war. Okay. Now, okay, so supposedly Sun Tzu is a Taoist, eh?
It's a what?
But let's not get is a Taoist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's not get into that, but just as a side note. But there's an important thing. I think Sun Tzu in the art of war and Machiavelli, like the prince, right, the writer, right? I think they touch on two similar but different topics.
So here's what I'll say. I haven't read either books, but I'm gonna fucking give my opinion on them anyway. I'm gonna fucking sound like an expert, a fucking armchair expert. But I think it's like, what's really interesting is you're talking about a trait.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, it is a trait. It is a character trait. Now, when Sun Tzu is talking about defeating his enemy, again, there's a context here where it's like the thing that I'm kind of holding on to is what you said, is the guy has your back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
let's say, I'm buddies with Sun Tzu, we're out on war together, we're defeating our fucking enemies. Does Sun Tzu have my back? Oh shit, we lost the line. Anyways, we'll just keep going.
Okay.
We'll just fucking keep going. Does Sun Tzu have my back? Is he someone that I can depend on? And is that trait something that falls under the umbrella of Karachiism and what you talk about? Or because in my mind, Machiavellianism has a form of ruthlessness in it that can be a little cold, a little reptilian, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Well, yeah, but see that goes into set of principles, and I think I'll go back to the question that you phrased, because that I think captures everything. So, does this trait occur in a person who would have your back? Or you said, I can't really phrase what you said, but
yeah,
I mean, I don't remember. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. You'll find people in all aspects and all walks of life who have this trait. They don't necessarily have to be good or bad. So, and that's why it makes me want to explore it, because the main idea is you don't get taken for a ride, or if you're, just people don't take advantage of you. But how do you come across that? How do you know? So this is what I'm exploring right now. Now Talal's not here, but I was thinking about writing a book about it, and well, not about the whole thing. Excuse me, it's Talal now, so let me see what's up with him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I want to name the book, or I want to call the book Why You Should Judge People. So I've got more points to it, but for the sake of the podcast, we just,
can't go that deep. Yeah.
I mean, I don't really mind, but I would be lying if I said I know a lot about it, because it's just something I thought about like a couple months ago, and then I found it interesting. Waiting for host. Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead and do what you need to do, Adam. That's Talal, man. He's
there we go. He's here.
There we go. He's back. Dude, are you back?
There we go.
Fucking you left and we dropped some fucking bombshells, dude. Like, there's no point, man.
Oh snap! Oh, there he is.
He's back.
I like the confused look on his face, though.
That's default. Can you hear us? Fucking hell!
Oh, muted. You poor bastard. It's connecting to audio. There we go. You're muted, mate. But yeah, I mean, I guess we can continue talking. There he is.
Figures this out. Yeah, I mean,
Talal doesn't know he's muted. You're muted.
Why does he keep fucking with the camera? It's the mute button that you should fuck
I know,
with.
I'm trying to get it.
Oh, there we go.
All right, there we go. Fat fucking
old.
sausage fingers.
Okay. Yeah. So let's just pick up from where we left. So you were talking Asrar as it was a trait, right?
Yeah. So Hisham asked a question, which was, so if a person who has this trait, would they be loyal to another person, when it comes to their own interests? And what I said is it's a trait. It could be present in anybody. But in my experience, the more reptilian or selfish a person is, the stronger the trait is, and the less the loyalty is. You know what I mean? Like it's as simple as you playing a video game, and you've got the controller, and your mate's sitting over there, and you pass it to him after the first game, or you wait and play until you're sick of it, and then you pass it to mate, and you're like, you can have it now. So it can be like anywhere.
So what you're saying is it's more like a trait.
Yeah, definitely a trait, in my opinion.
just
Hisham.
if we take this to the extreme, let's if I could explore the extremes, sounds a little psychopathic in its extreme nature, because it's like, well, I'm gonna survive. I'm gonna do what I need to do, and if anyone comes in my path, well, you're in my way, buddy. I don't care. Done.
It's interesting you'd say that.
Okay, Asra, hold up. Now, so let's say, for the sake of simplicity, it's a trait. Okay, and the feeling that I'm getting from Isra is that it's a required trait. It's not necessarily bad.
Yeah.
Now, but the thing is, Hisham, do you think this needs to be balanced out with another trait or another force?
Yes, I like the way you put it. Is that balancing it out with empathy, balancing it out with maybe the end isn't something to be chased, because the sacrifice, the means to get there is costs too much. So that might be the balance right there, is empathy. But yeah, right. I'm interested to hear what Israr has to say, because you were going to jump on the psychopath thing.
Yeah. So let's talk about the. I mean, I think we all agree that Machiavellian is important, and we can go into the philosophy of trying to define it and what it is. But Asrar, do you think it's a trait that needs to be balanced out if it's going to survive?
People who function this way, if you ask them, it's very. So I've noticed this somewhat, and I've always asked people for the scoop. When you go somewhere new and you ask them what's the scoop of this place, like what's up. So I finally met somebody from Karachi, and this is how it all happened, right? Who gave me the scoop, and he told me how to navigate and how you had to know people. So myself being Pakistani, living over here, I couldn't have seen it, because you have to see this somewhere where you're native or you're local or something. That's how you develop this.
Okay. And do you think that there are parts of the world where this is more required than other parts?
Anywhere. Okay, so I was watching this documentary on Machiavelli, right? And the people they were interviewing and whatnot, one of the blokes, he spoke about a school that was run. It was an all-female school, and it was run by women. And he said the level of political deception, or whatever you want to call it, present in that place was insane. Like they were just a small school. The point being, it's present everywhere. What I've seen, especially like we're talking about prisons, and then if you talk about gangs, and if you talk about people who don't have amenities, if you don't have people who can channel the extra energy they've got, this is where it's going. So I keep mentioning the show The Wire.
A lot of factors when it comes to this, but because you talked about outlets, you talked about gender differences, and you talked about place.
No, not gender difference. What I'm trying to say is it's present everywhere. This was a Caucasian school, if you will.
Right. Okay. So, yeah, sure. It's present everywhere, but I guess that what I think, and this is an important topic. You touched on very important topics, but this is, I think, when you said an all-girls school.
All-girls school, yeah.
Okay. I want to shift this.
Yeah, that's an interesting topic. All-girls school, it fucking jumps in.
Yeah, I want to get Hisham's scoop on Machiavellian and gender differences. And then I'm going to move on. Yeah, and then I'm going to move on to school. But let's start with, okay, so basically it's well established that, okay, you need to be Machiavellian. It gets confusing because you need to relate it to context. And then you also need to make sure that if you get too Machiavellian, it's basically self-destructive, because that ends in, it needs something to balance it out.
At that point, no one trusts you, and you're gonna, it's like, think of what's his name? The Roman general. Can't believe I forget his name. Julius Caesar.
The-
I mean,
yeah.
he got to the fucking top. He destroyed everyone. People stopped trusting him, and they killed him. That's that's what happens.
We,
Was it Caesar? Was it fucking Caesar? Yeah, I
it,
think it was Caesar.
no, it is Caesar. It is Caesar. But I think Caesar is. I thought, okay, Caesar's an interesting topic because I've been listening to Don Hardcore History.
Yeah.
Julius Caesar is like it's called, what is it called? It's called something, genocide or Holocaust. It's about a Holocaust of a specific ethnicity, and it's like like a Caucasian ethnicity, like the Visigoth tribes, etc., etc., and talks about the combat between Rome and these Visigoth tribes. Anyway, not without getting into too much detail, I think Julius Caesar is a genius. He's a Machiavellian genius, but I don't think it was that destructive because I think he brought a lot of glory to Rome. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, but let's not get into that. لحظة هشام, let's not get into that. What I want, because that's a deep topic. Let's talk. We want to hear your opinions about gender differences and Machiavellianism because we're all guys. And
yeah, I mean, I don't fucking know if there's a difference in genders in Machiavellianism. I guess it all depends. Like if you put a chick in a context where she needs to, get real and survive, she'll probably adapt to that really quickly. I think maybe men have a better propensity for it because, I mean, we're designed to hunt and gather and be in, I mean, our biology is set to be wired for that male gang, male tribe kind of aspect where we naturally size each other up. We walk into the room and immediately we look at, oh, that guy's a fucking fag. I can probably beat him up. That guy seems legit. I shouldn't probably fuck with him. I think that naturally comes to men because we have to size people up in terms of if we're going to hunt, if we're going on a war campaign, I gotta know who's the guy who's gonna fucking survive, who's the guy who has my back, who's the guy where if shit gets real,
Donovan, he calls these martial virtues.
Yeah, the tactical virtues. Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. Tactical virtues. Yeah. Now, okay. I mean, yeah, sure, but I mean, women. Okay, so if we're going to use like the hunter and gatherer tribe lingo, right? So okay, men are busy sizing each other up for like tactical virtues, right? In the meantime, what are the women doing? How are the women exercising their Machiavellian?
Maybe I think they're again, I don't know, dude, but maybe they're sizing up other men as well to see who's the alpha, who's the tribe, who they should align themselves with, because they align. I mean, again, I'm talking back in the day, tribal days. If a woman aligns herself with the wrong guy, I mean, she's fucked, and not fucked in the way that she's going to be enjoying it, right?
Right.
So, again, it's a difficult one to. I mean, are women more Machiavellian because they don't have, the strength aspect as much as men, so they have to kind of rely on tactics that are more, more
dude,
social.
I think they rely on. No, dude. I think it's more about seduction.
Oh, absolutely, emotion. And that's what I'm getting at is that because they have to be more.
Dude. Yeah, sorry, but the thing is, for us, dudes, we can talk about deception, but we don't use the word seduction, right?
Yeah, seduction is a female aspect. Yeah,
exactly.
More, I mean, a dude seducing is it's pretty weird. It's like women are the choosers at the end of the day.
Yeah, but then it has this kind of sexual aspect to it. When you say seductive, it's different than saying deceptive. But in my mind,
I mean, you can deceive someone by seducing them. I mean, again, it's all about alliances. If a woman she let's say it's you or me. So here's what I'm saying. It's let's say we're in different gangs, we're in different tribe, you and me, and we're competing, and there's a woman who has to choose, and let's say it would be smart of her to fuck both of us. Because whoever wins, it's she doesn't have to like fuck either or, because it's like if she has a child from either one of us, she's secure. Because if I win, maybe it's my child, I'm going to protect her. If you win, you're going to protect her either way. So there is an
Okay.
element, do you see what I'm
Okay.
getting at? It's like they can use seduction
In,
in a very
in a very crude way, a super seductive woman needs to put the nerd and the hunter
warrior.
degenerate in her pocket to
Yeah.
secure genes and to secure security.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, Asrar.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts, ideas, because I want to move to a very different topic, but it's related. Gender differences, and
I think I spoke to
and
last once, and this was in Canada, and I'm sure you guys have noticed too. Women are easier to spook. And I
Easier
think
to
spook. Like
Spook.
if you were about to scare them or freak them out, it's a lot easier. Like with your mates, all
Okay.
you have to do is you have to plan out.
Okay.
With women, if you just open your eyes wide, and just stare at them, it just freaks them out. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So I asked a friend
Yeah.
of mine, and what she said is,
Specifically Canadians.
I think Dr. Jordan Peterson touches on
Okay,
this as
just for
well.
the audience, I want to mention this thing for the audience. All three of us have lived. I've lived in Canada for 5 years. Asrar for 8. Hisham?
Total, I don't know, like 6 months, if you count, maybe 6-7 months in total.
Yeah, and I think we all relate on our experience in Canada in a similar way.
Yeah, fucking Canadian women are blue-haired feminists. That's fuck that shit, dude. Fuck.
Yeah, in addition to that, because no, I want to clarify this for the audience because this is something that the audience might not know. Basically, me, Hisham, and Asrar, we're both not exactly Eastern, but we're not exactly Western either. I mean, would you guys all agree?
Yeah.
Sure.
Asrar, would you agree to that definition?
Yeah, but mind you, I think my Canadian experience has been slightly different because again, it was like 8 years, and that's what it came down to.
I want to kind of set something out for the audience. I mean, do you consider yourself not exactly Eastern or Western?
Oh no, I do. Yeah, nope.
You agree, right?
Yeah, that's why I said at the beginning I'm a nomad.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, actually, that's what I tell a lot of people because I've been traveling now for 5 years. I tell them that I'm an international nomad. But just for the audience, I mean, when we talk about feminism and Canada and what have you, basically this is not like some 3 brown hairy guys from the Middle East trying to bash Canada or feminism. But this does not deny the fact that we want to say something about that. So just so the audience doesn't get just so the audience doesn't get like a negative vibe. I mean, I think this is all related because we're all kind of following Jordan Peterson. I wouldn't say we're all Jordan Peterson fans. We all are men. We all have something to say about feminism because we've kind of directly experienced it while we were all in Canada. So yeah.
Okay. So, anyways, let's spook the earth. So
yeah,
when I asked her, and she said it was the predator thing, because women generally get preyed on, and that's what Jordan Peterson said as well. Like,
yeah,
we have that thing in us as men. We're innately predators. I'm not saying everybody's going out there with a spear or something, but it does play into that. So, but then again, it's seduction thing. I don't know, man. You could play in many ways. Like, it's not always seduction. It's not always that subtle. You know what I mean? Not always that apparent.
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it that it's very not apparent. We need a 4th guest over here who's a chick, who's cool.
I can't think of anyone who'd opt to sit amongst us and answer those questions. But yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
can.
Hisham, do you think this is becoming too like dudish, or like do we need a
Well,
chick
okay,
to
so
balance
here's
this
really
out?
interesting. I can think of a couple of girls who actually, one of them Canadian, one of them Omani, who might be able to jump in. But this is something. Okay, so it depends on the direction that you want to take this podcast in, right? Because this is something that Donovan talks about, which, if you guys haven't read the books, I would highly recommend The Way of Men. He has a trilogy, and he talks about in male psychology, when you, and I'm sure you guys experience this, I know I have, if there is a group of men and then you introduce a woman in the equation, that the psychology changes immediately, because it's like, like Asrar said, it's like, dude, we've got fucking balls, we want to fuck. It's gonna change. The way he puts it is that men are not as honest with each other when you introduce a woman in the picture. So the way he formulates it is like, if you're choosing a gang, if you're picking a gang to go hunt and gather, and let's say
Right.
there is a woman there that is specifically might be better than some of the men, than a couple of dudes at going and doing the hunting, you would still prefer the men and pick the men over, because you want the group dynamic to be tight. When you introduce a woman, all of a sudden there's a group dynamic that it's like some of the dudes are going to want to fuck her, she's going to start
Okay.
aligning her, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, that sounds like okay. So
so
if
I'm
I'm going to
taking
use
this
your
really extreme.
right,
But it's like, what direction do you want to take this podcast? Do you want it to be like completely bro,
no.
fucking brutal
Okay,
psychology?
I think no. I think we should next time. We should have one chick over here so we can like blast our questions on her side, so it doesn't
No,
get too tunnel
I,
vision.
I
But
follow,
listen,
but
yeah, wait, hold up. I want to ask Hisham. You said I don't want to compromise a group being tight when we go and hunt or fight another gang, because it almost sounds like the woman, the chick, is going to loosen up the tightness of the team.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's like, again, I'm talking hunter gatherer times. It's like they're gonna fuck. The chick is gonna fuck some dude, if not all of them.
Right.
She's gonna get pregnant. Okay,
Okay.
she's gonna
Okay,
get
it looks like
pregnant.
Ismail wants to say something. Ismail was dying to say
oh,
something.
I'm dying. I'm itching all over. Now, let's not go to hunt together. Let me just go like, and this is literally everywhere, right? So I was rock climbing in this club in not club, a gym, excuse me, and we were like a bunch of mates, and we used to like, so you need one to belay and one to climb. So there were these blokes who specifically climb with some of the lasses. Like, bro, you want to whatever, just do it outside. Belay me. I need to climb, I need my workout for about 2 hours. So
Exactly.
it's and it's not necessarily the girl trying to be that way, right? If a girl's really good at something, like when I used to ride a motorbike. So there was this girl and she was really good. And guys just wanted to talk to her. She was like the hot topic and whatnot. I'm like, bro, like while we're riding, it's still okay. As soon as we stop, it becomes like high school or something. Everybody's like showing off their
Yeah.
bloody collection or their seashells or whatever they do with the peacocks with the feathers and everything, trying to get attention. So I
Right.
do agree with that. But what I want to say is, if you're going to invite one girl, it might be a little unfair. Do you know what I mean? Because then
Because
we've
we're gonna
got
fucking
three
hound her.
minds.
They got 3 fucking dudes.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
maybe she's like a queen bee. Maybe she's a queen bee. Maybe she can like, handle three workers.
Yeah, dude, she probably
bro,
can, and
is this like
I
Bang
love.
Brothers or something? What is wrong?
But we're gonna fucking. It's gonna be bukkake, guys. It's gonna be a
Okay,
fucking
okay, okay,
gangbang.
okay.
She's
Let's
gotta be
let's
No.
into
get
some
back. There is
freaky ass
okay,
shit.
guys.
So
Well,
All right.
hold on, just real quick. What Israr, I think what Israr said there is really key, and it's not necessarily the chick's fault. It's just the fact that she exists and she's hot, and dudes are gonna want to fuck. That's what changes the dynamic. It might totally not be the girl's fault. She's out
Yeah,
there. She
yeah,
wants to ride the bike. She wants to climb. She wants to hunt. She wants to do her duty. But
yeah.
it's like, well, are you compromising the tightness of the group? Especially if you're mountain climbing, some dude is like noticing the tit instead of like fucking doing what needs to be done, and then all of a sudden some dude is falling off the mountain.
Because of a
It's
tit.
because of the tit,
That
because of the
fucking
side
tit.
boob, dude. Side boob, man. It just fucking killed the dude because he wanted
Yeah,
side boob.
yeah. especially something as like high stakes as mountain climbing. And I mean, Asrar, you know more about this than me, but because I, from my very like like little knowledge, sometimes when groups go mountain climbing, they have like this rope that connects the group,
Oh,
right?
that's like that I've only climbed in gyms, mainly in gyms. You're talking about actual outdoor climbing, which gets a lot more complicated. Because the thing is, with this, you've
Yeah,
got
so basically that's when you really don't want to have a chick. When
no,
things
no,
get
no.
really
That's what I'm
really
trying to say. Like,
dangerous.
think about it like this, right? So let me switch up.
Right,
Let me give you another example. This you might be able to relate. So
right,
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right? I used to go to this.
right,
It happened to me twice, and it pissed me the off. You know what I mean? So I'm
right.
waiting to train, and my coach is too busy talking to a girl.